Hello, my lovely. Check in with yourself. See if you are supposed to be here. Actually, we're not going to do this card. We're going to pull a tarot card for you today and see what you may need to know right now. Okay? I want you to create stronger boundaries for yourself. That way you can actually bring in all that you are calling into your life. The reason I say that, I will show you in just a moment what the cards are, but we have one more. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So the first card we have is this Iha of Earth card. And you see how she's like wrapping around, she's like wrapping this linden, essentially, these roots around. It's reminding me of the need to create boundaries. And honestly, like strong boundaries for yourself at this time while you're trying to create whatever it is that you're trying to create in your life right now. So that way you can actually bring in that abundance and that harvest for yourself. Because with this, we're kind of out of the energy a little bit of this full moon in Leo that just took place over, what was this past Sunday? Or, yeah, this past Sunday, because it's Thursday now. So, but with that energy, it was the need to remove certain things in your life that are hindering you from reaching your success. And so while we're not necessarily removing something right now that's coming out with this Iha of Earth, it is the need to now establish and to create these boundaries. So we're almost done with that first full week of the energy of the full moon. And then we're about to go into this next week. So sometime, this next week, literally next week, before we then have the new moon that's to come. All right. So establish these boundaries for yourself because you want to actually be able to call in the harvest that you're calling in. And currently right now, there is a block that is like in the way, and it may be like your routine. It may be how you are going about your routine for yourself and for what you are creating, and the need to establish more rigid, because these are like real roots here, okay? Those are going to be very difficult to just like pull apart, all right? So a very rigid maybe routine for yourself. If you're not used to then having a routine for yourself, try some things out over the next couple of days. Try some things out over this next week. See what works for you and what fits for you, because you are going to want to call in abundance into your life, especially with the new moon in about a week and a couple of days. So you have a harvest that you can have. Also with this horsetail here, because that's what's the herb is horsetail. But when I think of horse, I think of just like, I'm thinking of like a horse and a buggy. And that horse really just like gallivanting toward the sunrise, the sunset, the success, the rebirth, the harvest. Even with a horse and a buggy, you could be carrying this harvest does that make sense? It's like you're carrying the harvest in the buggy, and the horse is there to aid in that forward movement. Does that make sense? But yeah, moving forward. So we have the Madre of Fire here with time. Keep in mind that it is a marathon and not a sprint, I want to say, even though your success, it feels like it's coming in relatively soon as long as you establish these boundaries. But what I mean by it not being it not being a sprint, but a marathon, give yourself the time and the ability to create the structure that works best for you in order for you to bring that into your life. Okay. You've been like studying also with this these potions and these brews on here, studying what you want to have in your life. Study your own behavior as well, so that way you know what you need to switch in order to really create with this fire here, create what you need to. Okay. Sweetness, abundance. There's a honey pot that's on here as well. All right. And yeah, I really love this, but I need you to keep in mind, I need you to really keep in mind that yes, your success is inevitable, but only if you are taking the necessary action that you need to call that success in. Okay. Let's get, I want to say, one crystal card for you right now? A crystal that could aid you in this endeavor. What is a crystal that could aid you in this endeavor? So you have copper. All right. So copper, anyone who needs the proverbial defibrillator paddles. At the bottom, it says energize your whole world. You want to use it when it's time to pack up an old idea of who you are and ship it out for good. Move on. Renewed with copper. Copper, number one, is also going to be a good protection. Like if you have a copper bracelet, that'll be good for you. But then also, like it says on here, energizing yourself. You want to, with this kind of like horse, this energy, this calling stuff into your life right now, pack up the things that are not serving you. You're packing up these old ways of living, these old behaviors, these old habits that are actually preventing you from being able to call in your success fully. You have a harvest that's coming in. You're actually moving in that direction, but you need to have more rigid boundaries with yourself, because when you don't have boundaries with yourself, baby, number one, you're not going to have boundaries with anybody else. Okay? So have boundaries with yourself, because I don't want to say this, but like, don't be a loser in your own story. Okay, don't be a loser in your own story. Have boundaries. Pack up the old stuff that's not helping you right now. Ship it out. Okay, move on. Renewed with copper. And very last card that we are going to get is going to be a reflection card for you. So let's see what you can reflect on as well. Okay. So you have a level 1 past card right now. Ooh, and it's a reminder. It may be hard to see now, but you did the best you could at the time. Okay? It may be hard to see now, but you did the best you could at the time. And that is 110% true. You did the best you could with what you had. All right? So it's like, keep like knowing that, all right? Knowing that you did the best you could with your circumstances before, but now you know that you're trying to move into a new direction. You may not have had all of the resources previously, but maybe you've come into some new resources now that could aid you in getting to where you need to be. Okay? All of the habits maybe that you had developed before, you had to develop those because that's what was best at that time, and that's what you had at that time. Now you have new knowledge, you have new insights, you have new wisdom that could aid you in moving forward, and that's a resource in and of itself. Okay, so you did what you could, you did the best you could with what you got. Like, I did the best I could with what I got. Confirmation. Okay. So don't beat yourself up to staying in the same spot that you no longer align with. I hope that made some sense. I will talk to you so very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day. Create a beautiful day for yourself. Mwah. Toodaloo.